Who is Adana, the girl destined to save her village from eternal darkness? What drives Ojuwa, the spirit of shadows, to claim the moon's light for himself? And what role do the spirit guardians like the River Mother and Kanu play in her perilous quest? Dive into this epic tale filled with unforgettable characters, courage, and mystical trails. Can Adana gain and restore the moon's light? Stay with us to uncover their fates. In the quiet village of Oluma, nestled near vast forests and rolling hills, the moon was respected as a guardian and guide. Every season, the villagers held sacred festivals to honor the moon, believing that its light kept away the spirits of darkness that wandered the night. Among the villagers was a young girl named Adana, known for her graceful dancing and kind heart. She had often dreamed of dancing under the full moon's glow, believing that one day the moon would reveal its hidden magic to her. But the peace of Oluma was shattered when the night sky grew darker than ever before. A powerful spirit of shadows, Ojuwa, emerged to steal moon's light, plunging the land into an eerie darkness. The crops failed and fear gripped the people. The elders sought answers through divination and were told that only one with a pure heart could restore the moon's light by embarking on a journey to the spirit realm. Adana, driven by her dreams and the suffering of her people, stepped forward to accept the task. With the guidance of the village seer and the blessing of her ancestors, she set out on perilous quest to save the moon and her village from eternal darkness. Hope you are enjoying this story so far. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and let's continue to journey with Adana as she battles the darkness and fights to restore the moon's light. It began on the night of the full moon. The villagers had gathered in the central square, preparing for the annual moon festival. Children laughed, elders told stories, and the women sang songs for gratitude. Adana, dressed in flowing gown adorned with white and silver beads, prepared to perform the first dance of the evening. But as she took her place under the sky, the moon's light suddenly dimmed. Gasps filled the air as the villagers watched the moon slowly vanish behind the curtain of shadows. The stars faded, and an unnatural cold swept through the village. Panic erupted. "This is a bad omen," whispered Baba Okeye, one of the elders. "The moon has been stolen." The village seer, Iya Ngozi, stepped forward with her staff, her eyes distant and unfocused as if she were peering into another world. "A great spirit named Ojuwa has captured the moon's light," she announced. "If we do not act, darkness will consume our land." The crowd murmured in fear. "What can we do?" someone asked. "Only one with a pure heart and a gift of dance can restore the moon," Iya Ngozi replied. Her gaze fell upon Adana. "Child, the spirits have chosen you. Will you accept this burden?" Adana's heart pounded, but she stepped forward with courage. "I will go," she said, "for my people and for the moon that has always guided us." The villagers fell silent, then erupted in cheers of hope. Adana's mother embraced her tightly. "Be strong, my child. Remember, the ancestors are with you." With the village's prayers behind her, Adana prepared for her journey. Before she could leave, Adana visited the sacred grove, where the ancestors' spirits were said to dwell. The trees stood tall and ancient, their branches forming a natural archway. At the center of the grove was a stone altar where offerings were made. Iya Ngozi guided Adana to the altar and placed a carved wooden talisman around her neck. "This will protect you from illusions," she said. "But remember, the spirits will test your heart and your resolve." Adana knelt before the altar and closed her eyes. She whispered a prayer to her ancestors, asking for strength. When she opened her eyes, the glow shimmered, and the glowing figure appeared before her. It was a spirit in the form of a woman with silver eyes and flowing hair that glimmered like moonlight. "Adana," the spirit spoke softly, "the path ahead is filled with danger. Ojuva will try to break your spirit with fear and despair. Trust in your dance and light within you. Only then can you reach Moon's heart." Adana nodded, her resolve resonance. "I understand, I will not falter." The spirit smiled and faded into the trees. Adana rose to her feet, knowing that her journey had truly begun. Adana's path led her into the dense forest that surrounded Uluma. The trees whispered as if alive, and strange lights flickered between the trunks. She walked cautiously, her sense heightened. Every rustling leaf and distant cry sent chills down her spine. As night fell, the forest grew darker. Adana felt the presence of something watching her. Suddenly, a shadowy figure emerged from the trees. It was tall and humanoid, with eyes that glowed like embers.
"Turn back, girl.
The figure growled.
This is not a path for the living."
Adana stood her ground. "I cannot turn back. I seek the moon's light to save my people." The figure laughed, a deep, hollow sound.
"Then you must face the forest of illusions. If you lose your way, you will never escape."
The figure vanished, and the forest seemed to shift around her. The trees closed in, and the ghostly images of her loved ones appeared, calling out to her. Adana's heart ached, but she remembered the talisman around her neck. She focused on the rhythm of her heartbeat and began to dance. As her feet moved, the illusions faded. The forest's oppressive atmosphere lifted, and a path of glowing stones appeared before her. She followed it with renewed determination. Beyond the forest lay a wide river that shimmered like a liquid silver under the starlight. Adana approached the water's edge, but there was no bridge in sight. She knelt and touched the water, which rippled with a strange warmth. A voice echoed across the river. "Adana, child of the moon's grace, why do you seek to cross my waters?" A figure rose from the river, a spirit adorned with pearls and flowing garments. It was the River Mother, a guardian of dreams and transitions. "I seek to restore the moon's light," Adana answered. The River Mother nodded thoughtfully. "To cross my waters, you must face your deepest fears. Step into the river and let your courage guide you." Adana hesitated but stepped forward. The water engulfed her, and vision of her darkest fears filled her mind. She saw her village in ruins, her family weeping in despair. But a voice, the voice of the spirit from the grove, whispered in her mind, "Dance, Adana, let your spirit shine." Adana began to dance, her movements graceful and defiant. The visions dissolved, and the river carried her gently to the other side, the River Mother watched in approval. "You have passed the test," she said. "Go forth and may the moon guide you." Adana's journey continued to a towering mountain, where the moon was said to dwell. The air grew colder, and the wind howled like a chorus of spirits. The mountain's craggy surface seemed endless as she climbed, her fingers numbing from the icy gusts. Partway up the steep slopes, she encountered a band of spirits warriors, clad in armor that shimmered like moonlight. Their leader, a tall and imposing warrior named Kanu, raised his hand to halt her. "Who dares to climb the spirit's mountain?" he demanded, his voice resonating with authority. Adana took a deep breath. "I'm Adana of Uluma. I seek the moon's heart to restore its light and save my people." Kanu's expression hardened. "This is sacred ground. Only those who prove their worth may ascend further. You must demonstrate your strength of spirit in battle. Adana knew she could not rely on physical combat. She bowed respectfully. My strength lays in my dance and my heart. Allow me to show you. She stepped forward and began to dance. Her movements were fluid and powerful, embodying courage, hope, and resilience. The wind calmed as if in reverence, and a soft glow surrounded her. The spirit warriors watched in awe as her dance summoned a gentle, radiant light that bathed the mountain peak. Kanu nodded in approval. Your spirit is pure and strong. You may continue. The warriors parted, allowing Adana to continue her climb. The path became steeper, but the warmth of the light within her gave her the strength to press on. The summit of Spirit Mountain stretched high above the world, where the wind howled like a chorus of forgotten souls. The air was thin, and the cold bit into Adana's skin. But she pressed on. Her every step felt heavier, her body aching from the long journey. Still, her resolve never wavered. She had come so far, and nothing could stop her now. At last she reached the peak. The summit was desolate. Nothing but jagged rocks and a sky heavy with clouds. In the center, the moon's heart, a radiant sphere of pure light, floated above a pool of silver water. But the once peaceful light was now surrounded by swirling shadows, dark tendrils that lashed out of every corner of the peak like serpents, seeking to devour the moon's heart. Adana's eyes narrowed as she stepped forward. Ojuwa, the spirit of shadows, emerged from the darkness. His form was immense, towering over her, a twisted mass of shadows and rage. His many eyes glowed with an unearthly light, and his voice rumbled like a thunder.
You've come far, girl, but you will not succeed.
Ojuwa hissed.
The moon's light is mine, and it will remain in the shadows forever.
Adana stood her ground, her heart beating loudly in her chest. She could feel the energy of Moon's heart pulsing within her. She knew what she had to do. I will not let you take the moon's light, Adana said, her voice steady. The light belongs to the people, to all who live under its glow. You will not win. Ojuwa's laughter echoed through the mountain.
You are a fool, child. Your light is but a flicker compared to the darkness that I command.
The shadows surged toward her, but Adana did not retreat. She raised her arms, letting the rhythm of her heartbeat guide her movements. With each step, she began to dance. At first, the movement was slow and tentative, but as she continued, the dance grew more fluid and powerful. Her feet struck the ground with purpose, her body moving in perfect harmony with the moon's rhythm. Her every motion seems to call upon the every essence of the moon itself. The shadows recoiled, but Ojuwa would not yield. He struck at her with his dark tendrils, aiming to crush her under the weight of his power. Adana dodged and weaved, never faltering in her dance. With each spin and leap, the moon's light grew brighter, its radiance pushing back the encroaching darkness. The battle between light and shadow raged across the summit, the sky above alive with energy. Ojuwa's form twisted and grew larger, his anger fueling the darkness, but Adana danced with an unwavering resolve. As her feet moved faster, her movements became more powerful, each step sending ripples of light through the air, and the shadows shrank back, retreating from the force of her spirit. The moon's heart above her began to shine brighter, its lights now piercing through the dark clouds and illuminating the entire mountain. Ojuwa howled in frustration.
You cannot defeat me. I'm darkness incarnate.
But Adana did not stop, her heart beat in rhythm with the moon's light. and with one final leap, she released all of her energy into the dance. The pure radiant force of the moon exploded outward, filling the summit with blinding light. Ojuval let out a deafening roar as the moon's power consumed him, his form dissolving into wisps of shadows that were swept away by the wind. The mountain grew silent. The darkness that had once threatened to swallow the moon's heart had vanished, and the air was now filled with a soft, peaceful glow. Adana stood, breathless but victorious, as the spirits of the moon appeared before her in a vision, its face gentle and radiant. "You've done well, Adana," the moon spirit said. "Through your courage and pure heart, you have restored balance to the world. The light will shine upon your people once more." Adana knelt in reverence, her heart full of gratitude. "Thank you for guiding me. I'm honored to serve the light." The moon spirit extended a hand, and the glowing orb descended gently into Adana's hands. With a soft hum of energy, it absorbed into her being. The path to village below illuminated in a silver glow, guiding her way home. The journey down the mountain was peaceful. The once howling winds had become a gentle breeze, carrying the scent of fresh blossoms from the nearby hills. Adana felt a renewed strength in her steps, as though the moon itself walked beside her. As she neared the outskirts of Iloma, she heard distant voices. The villagers had been waiting for her return. The entire village gathered near the central square, their eyes wide with awe as they beheld the radiant figure approaching. Adana's mother, tears streaming down her face, ran to embrace her daughter. "You have saved us, my child," she whispered, holding her close. "You have brought back the light." The villagers erupted in cheers, their voices carrying across the night. Adana stood before them, humbled by their gratitude. She looked up at the sky, where the full moon now shone brighter than ever before, bathing the village in its gentle glow. The stars twinkled in harmony, as if rejoicing in the restoration of balance. That night the Moon Festival resumed with greater joy than ever. The people sang and danced, their fears forgotten in the warmth of the moon's embrace. Adana led the first dance, her movements graceful and mesmerizing. As she spun beneath the moonlight, her spirit seemed to merge with the celestial glow, inspiring all who watched. Years passed and Adana's story became a legend. Children grew up hearing of the girl who had danced for the moon and saved her village from eternal night. She continued to protect and guide her people, her connection to the moon's light never fading. As an elder, Adana would often gather the children of Iloma beneath the great baobab tree, sharing her tales of courage, sacrifice, and hope. She reminded them that the greatest battles were not always fought with weapons, but with the strength of one's spirit and powerful of unity.